Good morning, everyone. I'm back with another card for this Tuesday. This is May 26th, I believe, because I think May is almost gone. Yep, it is May 26th. My name is Sherry Minnie. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I live in Keensburg, Colorado, a small rural town about 45 minutes northeast of Denver. I've been a demonstrator for going on 15 years, I believe it is. So time goes by so fast anymore. I can't believe that May is gone. So today we're going to make a card. This is a card we did at our class last week, but I also made a lot of these because I turned mine into a graduation card for the ones I made for class because I needed so many this year. But today we'll do something different because graduations, a lot of them are over. I suppose there are still a few going on. But anyway, this is what we use, and I just said congratulations graduate on the inside. And here's I'll show you in the catalog. This is the May to August catalog. Stampin' Up! Is now only going to do 3 smaller catalogs like this instead of used to do the big annual catalog that came out in May. Now we'll have 3 small ones like this, and I kind of like this actually. So this one runs from May to August, and the suite that we are using is called Scenic Coast, and some of you should have, most of you I think would have already received your catalog. You can see it on page 26, and we're using a lot of different elements in here, and this is the paper that we're using, and I'll show you that in just a second. I love this. I like things with water and lighthouses and that kind of stuff, so I think it's really very nice. You can get better pictures and more details on my in my online store, which is Sherry Minnie at sherryminnie.stampinup.net, and I will be featuring all the details on my blog later today at simplylovestampin.com. Okay, and so here is the products we're using. This is the paper I told you about. The nice thing about this is you get 48 sheets, but you get 8 of each. I think I'm missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I must be missing one pattern, but this is a pattern that I'm using on the card that we're doing today. And here's some of the other ones. And on the back side, it's just a solid, kind of watery looking. And I just like all of them. I like the fact that there's sun. And I don't think this will probably pick up on the camera. Oh, maybe it will. But down through the middle here, there is some I don't know what it is, but it's real shiny, so it really does pick up the water effect. And then here's the one with purples, and then here's another blue and purple, and it's just so pretty. All of it's so pretty. And all I did is cut mine down to fit our card base. And I'm sorry I don't have the other pattern. I guess I didn't bring it over here. I thought I did, but apparently I didn't. Here's the bundle that we're using. It's called Sunset Coast, and this is the stamp where the adventure continues. We're using the water and the sun. There's lots of different verses that you can use on here, which is very nice. And here are the matching dies. And for this one, we are using the sailboat. I have a card in the works to use using the lighthouse, which I absolutely love, but this is a fun set. We're also using the little fishnet die on this one. I forgot about that. Let me pull it out here too. Really sticky. Okay. And then we'll also be using my standby stylish shapes. We're going to be using the circle, and we're going to use the 4th from the largest. It should be this one right here, I believe. Yeah. That one right there. And that's all the stamps and dies we're using. For ink pads, we're using the Blueberry Bushel for most of the card. For our sun on the inside layer, we're going to be using Timid Tiger. And for the embellishments, we're going to be using, these are called Sunset Sparkle Sequins. And you can use any of these. I think I used the orange on this card we're doing today, but we could use any of them. So that is what we have going on right there. Let me show you your packet. You'll have your envelope as always. The card base is blueberry bushel, and it is our usual 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And we'll just fold this since I forgot to do that before I came over here. Get it as straight as I can, because sometimes I don't do such a great job with that. And use our bone folder to get a nice clean edge there. Hope y'all had a great Memorial Day. We had a kind of a quiet one, but my husband, we have a few head of cattle, and so they had to work our cattle yesterday, which means they got shots and everything ready to go down on the pasture. So, and in the afternoon we went to a barbecue with our friends. So it was a quiet day, but enjoyable. All right, so you have your card base and blueberry bushel. You'll have a 4 by 5 1/4 piece. Let's see, did I make that 4 by 5? Yeah, 4 by 5 1/4 piece of basic white for the inside layer. You'll have a scrap of basic white to do your circle on. You'll have a scrap of Secret Sea to do your boat. You'll have a scrap of Timid Tiger to do your little net-like thing. And then you'll have a piece of designer series paper that's actually going to go on your envelope. And I think that's it for all the paper that we need. So I'll show you how we do the die cuts. So this is for the little net. You use this for your circle, your scrap of basic white. And then the boat is a little bit different. You will take your die, and the only part we really need is this part and the bottom water part. We're not going to use the whole circle. So I just put mine on there, and I ran it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, making sure that I had room on the side and that I had a nice border on the bottom. It didn't matter what happened at the top. Make sure that your boat or your sailboat is totally on the Secret Sea. So when you get done, you have a sailboat that looks like this. Oh, and this is called, what do they call the vellum? Anyway, it's a sunset vellum, I believe it's called, sparkle vellum, and it's got little sparkles in it. It's very pretty, and I chose to use this kind of pinkish color for the sunset. And you'll all cut that out with this same circle as you cut your white piece out. Okay, so when you get done, you'll have your white and your pink with this die. You'll have your net with this die, and you'll have your sailboat with this die. Okay, and that takes care of all the dies. I'll put these up here so I don't lose them, and then I'll show you what we do with the boat. I'll put these here. So for the boat, you're going to take your scissors, and what you're going to do is you're going to cut, hopefully I'll get this in the camera, you're going to cut straight across from here and from here to the edge. Try to line it up the best you can. You can always trim up the edges after the fact. Okay, then once you get that done, okay, let me find my trash can. Things got moved around a little bit. I've been reorganizing this room, which is also my office, and you have to make a mess before you can get everything put back together, right? All right, so you have this piece straight across. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take your scissors, and we're just going to cut around the edge. And I left a little bit of a bigger border because if I want to put a dimensional on the bottom of this, I can. And you're just going to, and you don't have to be exact. You don't have, it's just kind of a freehand thing, and you just go around however you feel comfortable doing, just being careful not to tear the water part of the boat. And whenever you're cutting like this, if you move your paper rather than your scissors, you'll get a little bit more smoother edge. So I can just turn it around that way, and I need to trim just a smidge off there. So you kind of get a nice edge on that. So then we're going to take this, and so that it can dry, we're going to put it on here. So I'm going to glue this flat onto my vellum piece, and I'm only putting glue where it won't show on the vellum, where it'll be covered up with this. So we're basically putting glue back here on this part, and we're hoping that my glue is gonna, oh, I think it looks like it's ready to go. That's pretty cool. So we're just gonna put a little bit on here and a little bit on here, and then I just kind of went along the top. I didn't do the edges because they'll be sticking over. Oh, I don't like that. There's an awful lot of glue on there. Let me see if I can get my, oh boy, where's my, do not see it, so I guess we won't. But you just want a little bit of glue along the middle part here, just to kind of get it to stick down. Vellum is not porous, so it does not soak up. Oops, I almost did that on the wrong side. Make sure you put it on the glossy side, the sparkly side, and you can have it sticking up a little bit, like so. Sorry, my things have gotten all turned around here, I guess. I was gone last week, and I didn't have a video last week. We were actually Waco, Texas, watching my granddaughter graduate from Baylor. So, and next week I have Vacation Bible School. So I'm going to try and get 2 videos done today, so I'll have one next week, because by the time I'm home from Vacation Bible School, I'm pretty much wiped out and I don't do much of anything. All right, we're going to get our stamping done. And I'm going to get the Adventure Continues. I'm using my Blueberry Bushel. This is a very intense blue, so I have a tendency to get it everywhere on my fingers. And we're just going to kind of center that in the middle of my circle. Okay, there we go. That turned out pretty nice. Then on the inside, I'm making this into a happy birthday card. So on the inside, I'm just going to put happiest birthday. Or happy birthday, I guess it says. To be honest, I can't tell you what stamp set this came out of. I didn't write it down, and you know how that goes. Okay, so that turns out into a nice birthday card. Now, while we're stamping, we're going to take our water stamp, and I need a piece of paper because we're going to stamp off on this. And we're going to stamp off. No, I don't like the way that looks. Let's ink it up a little bit better. We're going to stamp it off, and then we're going to put it down here on the bottom of our inside layer, just like so. Okay, and then let me grab a sticky note from over here at my desk. Well, that happens when you reorganize, you move things around. Hold on just a second. Thankfully, I didn't have to go too far. Now, I'll show you the inside of our sample card. What I want to do is get my sun. Now, you'll notice on this one, I think I stamped this stamp upside down. I think this is supposed to be the horizon, and I did it just the opposite. So, and it doesn't look bad, so I guess you can do whichever you want. But in order to do that, I put a sticky note right here, just a little bit. I'm just going to have a little bit of the blue of my water showing, and then I have the Timid Tiger, which is the orange. And again, we're going to stamp. You don't have to stamp this off if you don't want to. I just was doing that. But some of my ladies at class chose not to. And actually, it looked kind of nice because it was like a really bright sun. And then you just pull this off. And there's your sun. Okay, so that takes care of that, we can actually take this and put it in our, as I drop everything on the floor, and put this on the inside. Uh-oh, looks like I glued that. Glued a little piece down I wasn't supposed to. And we'll put this right here. Okay. Okay, so then we can, looks like I have a little bit of glue or something on here. Let me, there we go. Right, so there's that part. Now we're going to take our Pretty Designer Series paper and we're going to glue that down on the front. I don't cover the whole thing, for it's really not necessary, but you put as much as you feel comfortable with doing. Okay. Now what I did, and you can do this, you can either attach this to the back of your piece like so, but I chose to just put it on first. I've made so many of these that I knew exactly where I needed it to go, and so I don't have a problem doing that. But I sure wished I had my, I have this, but I bet it's so clogged up. Oh yeah, definitely. We'll just have to make do with what we have here. Hopefully it won't get too bad. So I just took it, and I didn't cover the whole thing. I just put little dots every now and then just to get it to kind of, and don't drop it. Some days, you know how that goes, some days. So the kids in our area are all out of school and very happy for a couple of weeks, and then they're going to start getting bored, and you know how that goes. So like I say, I just kind of, and then I wanted my son, which is right here, I wanted it to kind of show, so I really just kind of chose to put it in the center, and you can put this wherever you want as far as you know, this little netting. And then you take your boat. Let me make sure I'm doing all this right, because I haven't done this card for a few days. You take your boat, and what I'm going to do is put dimensionals on my boat. And do I have any little bitty ones in here? Yes, I do. So you can put a big one on the bottom of your boat. The one thing you want to make sure is that you don't have any of them showing through the vellum, because they will show on the front of your card. And I do have some black ones that I would have normally used, but I forgot to bring them over, so we're just going to do white. They don't really show, so it's not a big deal. Oops, I think this one I got over a little too. So when you get them all done, get them all on, then I kind of look, and I still have this one just a little bit too far over. Look at the front of it, and I can't see any, so I think we're good. So then I'm just going to, actually, I think I will take a tiny one. I'm just going to cut it in half. If I had some edges that were, if I had a sheet that was all used up, I could just cut a tiny piece of the side border. But I want to put a little bit right here on the water part of this right there. There we go. Okay, now we're going to just take these off. And you can decide which side. I probably gonna, on my, you see on my sample, the sun's a little different area, so I put it on this side. On this one, I'm gonna put the boat. I'm actually gonna change this around a little bit. I'm gonna put the boat right here because I want it to look like it's sailing across the page. Normally I would put this under here, but there's just really not enough room and it's gonna cover up my sun, and I definitely don't want to do that. So we're going to put some dimensionals. It's a nice thing about doing cards. You can rearrange them to however you wish to have them rearranged. So, or arranged. You don't have to do them exactly like mine because nobody knows what mine looks like. And then we're just going to put this as straight as I can, which, you know, for me is sometimes a problem. And we'll put it right up there so that you kind of have your boat going and then you have your thing up here. And it looks perfectly fine either way. And then the only other thing we have to do is take our embellishments, and let's see, since I'm at the top of this one, I'm not real sure what I want to use. I think I'll use the orange again. Or maybe I'll use the, let's see, what do we think? That's not bad, is it? I kind of like that. We're going to use the pinkish. I don't know what color. I don't even know what color these are. That's bad on my part. There we go. Okay, there we go. So here's the one we made. Oh, sorry, not quite done. Got ahead of myself here. Just a wee bit. So then we'll take our strip of designer series paper and we'll put it on our card front, or envelope front, sorry. We've already done the card front. Here I am off camera again, I'm sorry. Okay, we're just gonna put this just like so. Rub it down. Take our scissors. Trim it off. There we go. Got that done. Now we're done. So here's the one that I did just now. A little bit different than the one that I have for a sample. So thank you again for taking time to watch my video, whether you choose to do it in the evening or the afternoon or morning. I just appreciate it, whatever time you decide to watch, and I am very grateful for each and every view that I get. So may God bless you and have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.